they think that we get like these free tickets. Like we're just full of, oh, hold on, I got 2 for game 7, Bulls Bucks right in my pocket.
I had somebody tell you, hey man, you got free tickets. I want to go see the Hawks game on Friday night.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I got a drawer full. I'm gonna sit there on a beautiful Saturday and go, hey, hon, what are you doing today? I'm sitting in front of this TV to see if we get Adrian Amos in the 5th round. No! It's the most boring flippin' TV I have ever watched in my life.
Cubs lead 3-1 here in the 7th. A Chicago Comcast Sportsnet has the most Stanley Cup final coverage in town throughout the series between the Hawks and the Lightning. Tune into Sportsnet Central for Luke Stuckmeyer's live reports on the Road to a Dynasty series. Every night, all series long on CSN Chicago. And Jason Hamill lines to D. Gordon. Hamill setting a new career high on the mound with his 11 strikeouts, as he just faced Vin Mazzaro, who is now in from the Marlins bullpen.
Mazzaro's only worked 3 times here for the big club. He had 11 appearances with their AAA team down in New Orleans. We've seen him over the last couple of years with the Pirates.
Ball 1 on Addison Russell, hit by a pitch in the 2nd, RBI single in the 4th. Quality start for Urania. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. Best he can hope for is a no decision tonight. Mazzaro from the stretch. And a 2-0 delivery on the outside corner.
Urania, impressive, just 23 years of age, has really good stuff. As he develops the field of pitch, Marlins look like they got a pretty good one on their hands.
Ozuna over into right center. Justin Grimm heating up, almost throwing right into your living room. Outside on Fowler. Like a changeup at 91. Real hard changeup. Maybe a 2-seamer. Whatever it did, it had good tailing action on it. There's the change at 87. 2 balls and a strike. Bryant on deck. Cubs lead 3-1.
In this tough patch that Fowler's been going through, he's been laid on a lot of fastballs. Got beat by that heater. A lot of drift. And sometimes you get those shots from the side, and you see a lot of movement towards the front of the batter's box, and that tends, causes the hands to drag. Sometimes when guys go through that, they'll really work hard to make sure they get that front foot down early. Kind of lock in and then just kind of explode the hands through the strike zone.
He walked him. So on for the 2nd time tonight. Instruction from former Marlins coach and interim manager Brandon Hyde.
That might have been a balk. He just spun on that back foot. No, he's all right. Quick. The reaction in the baseball community to the hiring of Dan Jennings to manage the Marlins has been interesting. Kind of like that old line, hate the sin, love the sinner. It's kind of, everybody
right.
here that knows Dan, oh, he's a great guy, great person, good baseball man. But just about everybody in the industry says, no, bad idea, Marlins. Shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, he coached in high school long ago, but most of his baseball career has been spent in personnel scouting.
Yeah, originally with the Reds back in the mid-'80s as a scout.
It is an interesting experiment. They didn't say he's the interim guy. They basically said he's going to manage until the end of the year. Still paying Ozzie Guillen. There's obviously have to pay Mike Redmond for a couple more years. Fowler runs. Bryant drives one into the left field corner. It's going to one-hop the barrier. Fowler will come around third. He will score. It's 4-1 Cubs. Chris Bryant with his 33rd RBI.
Making the Marlins pitchers pay for their walks tonight. They've walked 4. 3 of them have come around to score. And Bryant, like Stanton, can hit those long line drives.
It's Rizzo now with Bryant at second. Ball 1. We had the go-ahead RBI double in the very first inning. Yeah, I think the other thing about the hiring of Dan Jennings, it's 2 parts. It's the speed of the game and all the strategic stuff as Rizzo hits right into the shift. Solano playing almost behind second. And then there's the other stuff about motivating players, which we'll get into later. 4-1 as the Cubs add to their lead.
Feel like a kid again with Dunkin's new Oreo and Chips Ahoy flavored iced coffees. Classic cookie flavor in every sip. America runs on Dunkin'.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Hey, buddy. Come smell those flowers.
Don't be shy. Come on.
Jack Link's Jerky. Feature wild side.
Would you get in a cab if you knew the cabbie had no license? Would you put your kids on a school bus if the driver had a poor driving record? Shouldn't you have the same requirement for the financial advisor who's handling your life savings?
Before you invest, check to make sure your financial advisor is properly licensed. Call the Illinois Secretary of State Securities Department at 1-800-628-7937 or go to avoidthescam.net.
Do it today. Protect your hard-earned dollars.
What if you could put your favorite breakfast sandwich on a pretzel roll? Whoa, game changed. Now get any Dunkin' breakfast sandwich on an oven-toasted pretzel roll. Grab one today. America runs on Dunkin'.
Our AT&T Uvers multi-view. Cubs getting nice contributions offensively around the infield tonight. Defensively from the shortstop, Starlin Castro with a nice grab to Rob D. Gordon earlier. So 4-1. As Jason Hamill continues on.
And Cubs making the most of their 5 hits. Pushed across 4 runs. Taking advantage of the walks. And Jason Hamill has been on top of his game here tonight.
Ozuna looks at ball 1 low. Grimm and Russell were up earlier separately. Swing and a miss. That's probably been his best pitch tonight, that slider.
Yeah, well, yeah, the slider, the action on that slider has been really sharp. And he's got a lot of swings at elevated fastballs, too.
Castro gets a Sunday hot and the throw in the dirt, but his first baseman helps him out.
Hamill's been interesting. You look at his game by game. He's tough to put in a box. There's some games where he gets a lot of fly ball outs. There are other games where he gets a lot of ground ball outs. But he's getting a lot of strikeouts.
One to Yelich.
League was hitting just .217 against Jason coming into this start. There's a whip. 0.91 was among the best in baseball. It's walks plus hits per innings pitched.
Back door on the slider. 2-2. Ground ball. Castro boots it.
Starting to think a little bit. He's had a number of miscues here lately in the field. A lot of them on fairly routine plays. Made that really nice play on that floating line drive earlier. This time, relatively routine ground ball, just eats them up.
Now the catcher, Real Muto, he's grounded out and struck out. Double play in order as Hamill checks on the runner.
The pitchers in Major League Baseball who had a lower whip than Jason Hamill coming into play tonight: Zach Greinke, Max Scherzer, Shelby Miller, and Felix Hernandez.
That's a good group. $20,964, the paid crowd. We see a good amount of Cub fans in the ballpark.
See if he can get Castro off the hook here. A little ground ball for a double play. I was doing a little reading on this Real Muto kid here today. Talked about his athleticism earlier and how he was late to catching, but his sisters both were catchers in college. He's from a very athletic family, had an uncle that wrestled in the Olympics.
Fouls out of play. Ryan Morris in the Miami bullpen. Muto is from Oklahoma to Carl Albert High School in Midwest City, Oklahoma. There's the ground ball, not hit terribly hard. They'll get one, and that's it.
Yep, that's a smart play there. Don't try to do anything silly. Try to make a hero play and get nobody. Sharply hit enough to get two.
Solano, ball one. This will be it for Hamill. Trying to finish strong here. Already is high for the year in pitch count. Fourth time he's gone over 100. Ichiro is on deck.
Apparently that cracked fingernail he was dealing with, not an issue for Jason tonight.
Yeah, he was pushed back from Saturday to Sunday due to that fingernail issue. Was deemed minor anyway, and then you had the rain out, so he actually got a couple of extra days.
And that's on his middle finger, and that's where he applies the pressure for his slider. That slider's been an out pitch for him, so looks like that's behind him.
So you could literally say he gave the slider the middle finger tonight.
Yes, you could.
I could get away with saying that and be accurate. That ball is going to drop for a hit. A bloop single for Solano, and that might be it for Jason. Trying to get that elusive third out here in the seventh.
Yeah, the error cost him some bullets. Ichiro announced, and Joe's going to make the move.
So we're going to have a Weber sauces and seasonings call to the pen. Why grill with anything else? Jason Hamill, terrific once again tonight.
Yeah, we talked about him at the outset. He's been dependable, reliable, consistent. The word we didn't use was dominating, but that's what he was tonight.
We'll be back in a moment.
As I look out today, I'm moved by your hope for a bright future. A future where student debt crushes your dreams and where you move back home, share a bathroom with your younger sister. In short, good luck. You'll need it.
At Fifth Third Bank, we were curious. Could we help grads find the jobs they want? That's why we're giving away $1 million in job search training. Enter at 53.com/brandofview. Fifth Third Bank, the curious bank.
Heineken Light, the best light beer you've ever tasted, or I'll give you your money back. Not me. I won't. Someone will give you your money. Someone at Heineken, I'm guessing. Is it?
We need to cut down on spending.
Can't be that bad.
Is that a Rembrandt?
I'm a big picture guy.
I think you misinterpreted that idiom.
Look, we had CDW custom configured new HP Elite books with Intel Core M processors to improve efficiency.
And?
They're also highly durable, so we save money on replacement costs.
See? Problem solved.
Now, you can get 2 Arby's Ultimate BLTs for $6. So, with 10 total strips of thick-cut bacon, that works out to about a 100% chance of you coming to Arby's. Arby's, we have the meat.
It is a Weber's Sauces and Seasonings call to the pen. Veteran left-hander James Russell to face left-handed hitting Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro, 41 years old, future Hall of Famer. Almost 2,900 hits in the big leagues, over 4,000 when you add them all up in Japan in the major leagues, and he'll bat with runners at the corners.
Got a lot of playing time while Yelich was hurt. He's also been their most often used pinch hitter. He's 5 out of 19 in the pinch.
4,155 career hits. 1278 in Japan, 2877 in the big leagues. Talking to people around this Marlins club, he's really enjoying himself. And you see Hamels' line at the moment, not yet final, with the 2 runners still on.
It's a patented swing out on the front foot. The hands stay back. Ichiro, 242 hits his first year in the States. 2001 Mariners.
Over 200 hits from 2001 to 2010 every year. Ground ball to Russell. This will get the Cubs out of the 7th. An error, a hit, no runs. 4-1.
A new small McCafe green apple smoothie or medium frozen strawberry lemonade. Just $2 each this summer at McDonald's.
Honda is about to do something remarkable. We've made the rear view camera a standard safety feature on every single vehicle in our 2015 lineup. Any car, any trim. Because we can all benefit from a better view of the road.
The world is constantly being refreshed. We flip it. We spin it. We own it. We live it. And that's not how we planned it. That's just how it flows.
It's only an egg, freshly cracked at morning light. A real delight when you take that very first bite. Introducing McDonald's Bacon and White Cheddar McMuffin. Get one in a small McCafe coffee for just $3.50.
Cubs suggest the use of public transportation, or for bike riders, use the Cubs courtesy bike check. And for drivers, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games from 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com. Right-hander Brian Morris here in the 8th inning. The Cubs leading 4-1.
Morris, mid-90s heater, slider. He'll cut his fastball. It was a 4 and a 2-seamer. Like Mazzaro, he's a former Pirate. Big league time with them in 2012. Just a cup of coffee that year. Then steady work the next couple of seasons. Last year split time between the Pirates and the Fish.
Working from the stretch. Soler hits one hard, and it's flagged down by D. Gordon for the out.
Well, there's Soler again making solid contact. But tough 0 for 4 for him tonight, all 4 times on the ground, including a double play. He does have an RBI. So that BABIP will be coming down a little bit.
97 from Morris on the swing and miss by Montero. On the ground right to Solano, the shortstop.
Cubs with only a couple of hits since the second inning, but they've had a couple of walks in there. Those hits were RBI hits with 2 outs.
Pedro Strop getting loose. Adrian Beltre's going to the DL. That's what's getting Joey Gallo to the big leagues with the Texas Rangers. Sprained left thumb with Beltre. Castro waits on a 1-1, drilled to deep left, way back there, and it will go. A home run, 5-1.
Redemption.
Number 4 for Castro.
Again, it comes with 2 outs. Not an RBI single this time, but a long ball. Whatever it was, slider, off-speed pitch, it floated up there, hung there for Castro, and well, he put a good swing on it. There's your 4th home run replay.
His first since May 8th. And a little more insurance. Ground ball towards center. Coughlin is on. Mike Baxter for Russell. Well, we thought he had won the game yesterday, late in the afternoon. That cold day at Wrigley Field. He drove one deep to left, the warning track.
Yeah, he put a pretty good charge in that ball, and on many days I would have flown out of here or there. We're not there anymore. We're here. All the places you'll go.
Here, there, and everywhere. The 0-1 to Baxter misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Marlins bullpen collectively a 3.91 ERA, 10th in the National League. They've had a lot of leads get away. Steve Cishek, who was their closer, has lost that job.
Line drive, base hit out of the left center. Coghlan tried for third, and he'll get there without a throw. 3 straight 2-out hits. First base hit as a Cub for Mike Baxter.
And he almost forgot to look at the dugout and rub his helmet, as is the custom. Good swing.
Good to get that first one out of the way after an 0-for-8 start. Actually, it's his first hit in 2 years in the big leagues. He went 0-for-7 as a Dodger last year. Russell went around too far. According to Sam Holbrook, strike one. Cubs have been just okay here as of late. 5-7 in their last 12, but trying to win their second in a row. And as JD mentioned off the top, the schedule this month is very difficult. A lot of road games, a lot of teams that were in the playoffs last year. So it'd be nice to get this road trip off to a good start here in Miami. And so far, so good, leading 5-1. Russell chases. The inning is over. Starlin Castro with his 4th home run and career hit number 899. Cubs lead 5-1.
Now at Chili's, sizzling fajitas grilled to perfection. Fresh. It's happening now.
Is this the year you go grab life by the gills? Then you belong at Bass Pro Shops with great Father's Day gift ideas at incredible savings. Like Redhead Grace Peak shorts starting under $20. And save $50 on a Charbroil 4-burner grill.
At DirecTV, we believe families should have somewhere to turn when disaster strikes. We believe our customers should have a real person to talk to 24 hours a day. That you should never miss your shows, even if it means overnighting a replacement receiver. And that if we're lucky enough to be invited into your home, we should leave it better than we found it. Because we believe there's no place for ordinary when you entertain the extraordinary. Don't just watch TV. DirecTV.
Hi, I'm Dean Collins, operating partner at Gerald Nissan. At Gerald Nissan, we understand that this is your car buying experience, and we want to find the vehicle and price that's right for you. We have more awards for customer satisfaction than anyone else in Chicagoland, and we're one of only 38 dealers in the country awarded the Circle of Excellence for customer satisfaction. We also have the largest inventory in Chicagoland, and we sold 2,700 new Nissans last year, all backed by Gerald's exclusive lifetime warranty. Gerald Nissan's always a better deal, I guarantee it.
Comcast Sportsnet, your home for Chicago Cubs baseball.
Hi, I'm David Kaplan in the Comcast Sportsnet studios with a Sportsnet Central update. The Bulls have sent out a press release saying they will make a major announcement tomorrow at 2 p.m. They'll be expected to introduce Fred Hoiberg as their new head basketball coach. We'll have more on Hoiberg, plus the latest on the Blackhawks getting ready for the Stanley Cup Final later tonight on Sportsnet Central. And we'll carry the Hoiberg announcement tomorrow live at 2 p.m. And now back to Len and Big Jim in Miami.
Cap, thank you. Castro with a home run to make it 5-1. Here's Pedro Strop. Maybe his best outing of the year yesterday. A 9-pitch, 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts against Kansas City.
It had been a bit of a bumpy ride for him of late. Right now at 391. Pretty solid numbers there. A lot of punch outs.
A hop knocked down by Russell. Nice play. They get Gordon.
That was pretty fancy. A little mishandle, the ability to grab it before it hit the ground. And Gordon down the line, if that ball gets to the ground, he might beat it.
Was traded as he bounces this one up the middle. Russell will throw late. Prado with his second hit tonight. Been traded a couple of times the last 2 years. Still working on that 4-year deal he signed with Arizona. And he's aboard for Stanton.
And we've seen Russell go up the middle and make a number of plays to the backhand side. This time he doesn't get it cleanly, and even if he does, I don't know if he's going to be able to get Prado. Well, and you can see Prado moved again too, couldn't you? A guy that would bring value at the trade deadline if the fish were so inclined. Marlins came into this season with high expectations. Still just June 1st, a lot of baseball to be played. They may feel like they can get back in it.
Bounce to Bryant. They get one. They get two around the horn to end the inning. 5-1 Cubs as we go to the ninth.
On behalf of Southwest Airlines, welcome to Chicago.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, don't everybody get up at once.
Come on. Let's go.
Follow me.
Door.
Seriously, we can't miss you if you don't leave. Once again, we have landed. Welcome. Thank you so much. Come back and see us.
Sometimes flights end before games do. Watch free live TV on your own device. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
When the moment's spontaneous, why pause to take a pill? Or stop to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and the free 30-tablet trial.
Heineken Light, the best light beer you've ever tasted, or I'll give you your money back. Not me. I won't. Someone will give you your money. Someone at Heineken, I'm guessing. Is it?
Cubs fans, get ready for an exciting finish. Brought to you by New Finish Car Polish and the #1 rated scratch remover, Scratch Doctor.
Cubs leading the Marlins 5-1. We mentioned the all-time series deadlocked at 86 apiece going into this series, dating back to 1993. And the Marlins joined the National League along with the Rockies. Morris gave up a run on 3 hits in the 8th. And a ball low on Dexter Fowler. 2-0 the count. Milwaukee continues to lead at St. Louis 1-0. They play the bottom of the 5th. Looks like we'll see Travis Wood in the bottom of the 9th. Dodgers with a 2-0 lead at Colorado after 3. Andre Ethier and Jimmy Rollins have homered for the Dodgers, both over 400 feet.
It's Kershaw pitching for the Dodgers tonight.
Kershaw and Kendrick, as Morris comes back and strikes out Fowler. Jordan Lyles to the Rockies DL, sprained toe.
He's been on the DL a bunch here the last couple of years.
Called strike 1-1 on Bryant. Rizzo on deck. Cubs have led since Rizzo's double 3 batters into the ballgame.
Bryant has looked good at the plate tonight. 1 out of 3, walked and scored, double, drove in a run. That was in the 7th.
Fans this time. Strikeout number 3 for Morris. Todd Frazier, the National League Player of the Week for last week. Josh Donaldson over in the American League. Donaldson hit 6 home runs.
Yeah. Sort of absurd numbers.
Frazier hit 511 out of 22 6 games last week for the Reds.
A healthy rip by the young lad. He had a rocket last time up. All right to Solano, who's positioned exactly where he is now, out there behind second base.
Ground ball right back to the mound. Morris will get him. A 1-2-3 top of the 9th. 3 outs to go, leading 5-1.
Join Verizon today for $80 a month and $15 per line to get unlimited talk and text, plus 10 big gigs of shareable data. And coverage? We're talking 3 times the 4G LTE coverage of Sprint. I mean 3 times. After all, if your 4G LTE network isn't there when you need it, is it really worth what you're paying? Now also get $200 when you join and buy a new smartphone. Stop by or visit us online and save without settling. Only on Verizon.
From picking the perfect color to our outstanding no prep, no prime formula, Menards and Dutch Boy make transforming your world easy. Go Dutch. Dutch Boy Platinum Paint. Available at Menards.
Time for our Binny's Beverage Depot Toast of the Game. And Jason Hamill, as we mentioned, pushed back due to the cracked fingernail, but as good as we've seen him. And we've said that a few times this year, haven't we?
Yeah, he's been really outstanding. And tonight, dominant with 11 strikeouts. He did not walk a single batter. Just a ton of swings and misses. All these strikeouts swinging. The elevated fastball, the sharp fighting slider, his two primary weapons tonight. And the occasional curveball, but powerful performance by Hamill here tonight. And 7 consecutive starts now, allowing 5 hits or fewer. It's the longest such streak in MLB.
So Hamill to Russell to Strop to Wood. Trying to finish him off. And a former Cub, Jeff Baker, to bat for Bohr.
Travis came into the ball game yesterday, faced a couple batters, allowed a hit and a walk. Did not retire anybody. Threw 8 pitches. Edwin Jackson, the only member of the Cubs bullpen not to pitch in the game yesterday.
Scalded foul by Baker. Parts of 4 seasons with the Cubs for Jeff. Two and two the count. Zuna and Yelich as well for the Marlins here in the 9th. Kyle Hendricks will pitch for the Cubs tomorrow night. Left-hander Brad Hand will pitch for Miami. Too bad he's not facing Raleigh Fingers.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
Or David Palmer. Swing and a miss. He got him on what looked like a cutter for strike 3. I used up all of the hand.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it had to be a Knuckles somebody. Old Knuckles Smith.
Cuticle Smith. Right.
Cuticle.
Doug Fister. There's a strike.
Pinky Higgins. So here we have it. Did we have our so-called easy win, right? Joe Madden probably would say, well, it's not easy. Well, all the 1-run games, a 4-run lead seems huge.
Yep. By the way, you know that group of pitchers we just mentioned, you know what that is? That's our all-hands team.
I don't know if Pinky was a pitcher. He was a player, though. We put them in on onside kicks.
Yeah. 5-man infield. Be your all-hands team, I guess. The equivalent of that. Right field, Soler on the warning track. 2 down.
Well, carrying pretty well in that direction tonight. There's been a couple of balls hit that carried much further than I anticipated. Soler able to run that one down as he was a couple others. P.K. Higgins was the third baseman. We'll put him on our team anyway.
Can't forget Bill Hands, who pitched for the Cubs.
That's right.
And Robert checking in on Twitter. The catcher would be Barry Foote. That's how you do it. Strike called on Christian Yelich. Fastball at 94 off the plate outside.
94? Some chartered territory for Travis Wood.
Two outs, bottom of the ninth, and a 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. A strike away, 2-2.
They're up. Marlins averaging just a little over 20,000 a game here. Lowest attendance in the National League. Better than Tampa Bay and Cleveland over in the AL.
Ball 4. That's the first walk surrendered by Cubs pitcher tonight. Here's Real Muto.
Cubs will give Yelich second base if he wants it. Rizzo backs way off.
And Yelich will take second without a throw and will not get a stolen base.
If you were near the top of the batting order, you might be sensing a little apprehension in the Cubs dugout. After Real Muto, it's Solano. Doesn't have a lot of pop. Rondon getting ready just in case things start to bubble up here. Pitcher spot due up after Solano. short bench for the Marlins, and they've already used Suzuki and Baker. Echeverria, regular shortstop, is available, but he's got a bad shoulder, so probably wouldn't use him. I guess it would just be Jonathan Solano, the backup catcher.
2-2 now. And Montero will start those signs again. Cub fans on their feet here in Miami. Wood to the plate. Full 3-2.
Jumping out of his hand pretty good here tonight. Just a little two-seamer going over a big part of the plate here with a 4-run lead.
Wood ready. Here it is. Solano on deck. A good luck charm.
Might be time to throw a little dead fish fastball, a little BP fastball, and just try to catch him out in front a little bit. Jason Hamill with the win will move to 4-2. He's lowered his ERA to 2.82. There you go.
Swing and a miss. Cubs win. Nice start to the road trip. A 5-1 victory over the Marlins. They led early. They got great starting pitching. Good ball game all around.
Yeah, solid stuff from Jason Hamill. Some big clutch 2-out hits, and then played a little add-on late too. One in the 7th and the Castro home run in the 8th. Makes it a little bit easier to finish things off here.
So that'll wrap it up from Marlins Park. The final score, the Cubs 5 and the Marlins 1. We're back at it tomorrow on CSN. Game 2 of the 3-game set, 6 o'clock from Miami. For JD and our entire crew here in South Florida, Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live is next.
Cubs get her done tonight in South Florida. Start the month of June and the 9-game roadie in high style. Cap and Holly with you here on our Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live. All right, the Cubs jump on the Fightin' Fish Euro Ball Club early. And they get it done, and they get really good, solid starting pitching.
Well, I mean, the key to this ball game was getting that early lead. You think going up against a guy making his 2nd career start, if you can get some early offense, which they did. The top of our lineup was very good tonight. You turn it over to Jason Hamill, and he deals. He dials in, strikes out 11, doesn't walk anybody, doesn't create any trouble for himself. There's also that factor that this Marlins team has not come anywhere close to meeting expectation this year. And a lot of times when you're playing a down team, if you jump on them early, they will wilt. And there was definitely a sense of that in this ball game where the Cubs continued to add on, pick up a run here, pick up a run there, that this game would be ours if we continue to push and make pitches.
All right, we will have a great Jason Hamill stat for you on the post-game show. We'll get everything to you, how this one broke down. It's all coming up, courtesy of Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's Cubs post-game live. I'm David Kaplan. He's Todd Hollingsworth. We'll be right back.
More people choose Ford F-Series to help run their lives, run their construction crews, their farms, even run away. And F-150 is the truck that helps you run on all cylinders. That's why Ford F-Series has been America's best-selling truck 38 years running. And with one sold about every 42 seconds, you guessed it, they're running out fast.
Get 0 for 60 plus 1,500 trade assist, or get 5,500 savings plus 1,250 bonus cash and 1,500 trade assist. Verizon says never settle. T-Mobile agrees. Never settle for Verizon's overpriced gimmicks. Try the Un-Carrier risk-free for 14 days. You'll love it, or we'll pay for you to go back.
Binny's Beverage Depot is going to bat for Make-A-Wish Illinois. Every time the Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Binny's will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish Illinois. That calls for a toast. Binny's is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. If you can't find it at Binny's, it's probably not worth drinking.
Now, you can get 2 Arby's Ultimate BLTs for $6. So, with 10 total strips of thick-cut bacon, that works out to about a 100% chance of you coming to Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats.
Tie game, 11th inning.
Have done it again.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers, as reliable as the cars themselves. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Audi, truth in engineering. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Toyota, see where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. This is Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs postgame live.
Castro waits on a 1-1, drilled to deep left. Way back there, and it will go! A home run. 5-1.
Cubs get it done. Start the month and the road trip in high style. 5-8-2. Whole lot better than 1-6-0. Cubs now 5 games over the 500 mark. They beat the Fighting Fish today, 5-1. Hello, welcome in to Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. He is Todd Hollinsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Jason Hamill just gets better and better every time he goes out.
Well, he's racking up the strikeouts. He got into form tonight. I mean, he was attacking the strike zone early, going after hitters, then expanding, using the slider, using the curveball, the elevated fastball to get this Marlins team out. I mean, it wasn't... I don't want to say it was easy, but he made it look easy. There's no doubt about it. And the ability to expand, and that's control. I mean, a lot of those pitches outside the strike zone were on purpose. This wasn't missing. This was expanding. And you watch Giancarlo Stanton chase the slider away. Bohr chase elevated fastballs. He was pitching to their weaknesses so well tonight. Again, making that early lead stand up, and that's, again, what you want to do against a Marlins team that has not played very good baseball this year.
All right, your UPS store taking care of business. Player of the game. This one's easy. Jason Hamill. 6 2/3, 11 strikeouts, 0 walks. And how about this, Holly? On the season, he's got 69 Ks in 67 innings pitched and a grand total of 7 walks.
Awesome.
In 67 innings.
Well, I mean, he's doing everything that Joe Madden requested multiple times. I mean, you think back to, you know, we kind of had some of the bullpen struggles and we were asking more from the rotation. In my mind, I kept thinking, Jason's immune to this conversation or this little talk that's going on behind the scenes because he's been doing it basically every time out. This is vintage Jason Hamill this year, no doubt about it. And what I love is the ability to expand the strike zone. You see how he attacks early. A lot of good strikes early in the count. You'll see some foul balls and hitters, you know, taking pitches. But as he gets ahead of hitters, he just expands that strike zone with 3 pitches right now, and that's what I love to see. You think back to last year when he was with us before he got traded to the A's, there was a lot of fastball. There was a lot of fastball command, and he got great results with that. At times his curveball was there. He'd tinker with the slider a little bit. He's going to them a lot right now, and it's really working out for him because he's burying that slider. He's using it as a chase pitch. He's mixing that with the slow breaking ball, the big hook to change eyesight. And again, no surprise to me that he's getting the swing and misses because, again, he's kind of a kitchen sink guy, as I like to say, a guy who can throw any pitch in any count. but he's getting great results, and he's doing it at 92 to 94 with the fastball.
All right, time for our Cholula Hot Sauce pitching recap. Let's take a look at the numbers for both starting pitchers tonight. And this one, a blowout in Jason Hamill's direction. Jose Urena, 6 innings, wasn't battered around, 4 hits, 3 earned. He struck out 4, but he walked 3. For Hamill, we told you those numbers, just outstanding. 11 Ks, no walks, 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits and 1 earned run, and he picks up a much-needed victory for the Cubs.
Yeah, it was definitely a nice win for us. Again, certainly would love to get that offense going. Urena wasn't bad tonight. He's got a big arm. He's only making his 2nd big league start. He was solid tonight, certainly settled in. I thought there was a real good opportunity to maybe blow him up early. That's actually what I was hoping for in this one. Get into that Marlins bullpen in the front game of a series and see what it might lead to in game 2 and 3. But what actually ends up happening is he goes a solid 6th inning. He's got a live arm. I'll tell you what, the Cubs put together some good at-bats early, but he settled in and was pretty solid in those middle innings.
All right, first inning, Dexter Fowler led off with a single. Chris Bryant worked another walk. Then Anthony Rizzo comes through with an RBI double. Smokes one into the gap in left center, and that is going to plate Dexter Fowler easily. Bryant will motor on into 3rd, and the Cubs are in business with nobody out and men sitting at 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, down in the count, gets a changeup up. Great piece of hitting right here. You can't make that mistake to a big league hitter, certainly an elite one. Anthony smashes into the left center field gap, and he gets it rolling. You know, the best part about this entire inning is that we fed off of it. And even Soler, who went 0 for tonight, his best at bat. It was a 2-0 pitch. It was away, but it was the contact that came. And when your team is struggling to score runs with runners in scoring position, we talk about productive outs. Soler follows this up with a ground ball to the right side, which gets a guy in, gets a guy over to 3rd, and we continue to roll. And that's exactly how this team played tonight. We only had 4 walks in the night, but 3 of them scored.
All right, then top of the 4th, Cubs up still 2-0. 2 outs, Chris Coghlan at 2nd, and Addison Russell delivers. Nice piece of hitting, rifles one into right field, and that will plate Chris Coghlan. All of a sudden, it's a 3-0 lead, and the way Hamill's throwing, it felt like it would be insurmountable.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Addison Russell's certainly putting together a pretty darn good season. I know he's had some at-bats that maybe have gotten away from him at times, but it seems to me like almost every time he's got the opportunity to drive in a big run, he shoots one the other way. His mind thinks that way. He gets the 2-0 fastball right there and drives it the other way. He's done so many things well this year since he's been up. One of the things that really does impress me is his ability to drive in runs with runners in scoring position. I think back to the homestand, used the off-field gap for a game winner. He does it again right there. He knows how to use it, and I think his game's only going to continue to blossom.
All right, let's check out our Sports Authority play of the game. After a Dexter Fowler 2-out walk, Chris Bryant delivers yet again to make it 4-1. Really nice piece of hitting here. Ball on the inner half, and he smoked it.
You know, he pulls his hands in as well as anybody right now. And, you know, we talk about some of the slight struggles that he's had, and that was one of the pitch that a few weeks ago he was kind of struggling with right there. But, again, watch his hands. Yeah, pulls them, yanks them in real quick. You know, he's got that closed-off stance, you know, his front foot in front of his back foot, but he gets around. He's so quick on the inside part of the plate, and what's most impressive really with that is that he kept it fair down the left field line. Great piece of hitting right there. He continues to produce in the 2 and 3 hole. We just got to get that 4 hole figured out.
All right, Starlin Castro, speaking of the 4 hole, moved to the 6th hole tonight. Joe Madden saying before the game, just relax and have some fun. First home run since May 8th, a solo jag. That was a line rocket.
You know what, Starlin? I've been there. Every other big leaguer's been there, man. A lot came out of that swing right there. I think there was some anger, maybe a little bit of frustration in that swing right there. Good for Starlin Castro to catch one sweet. And I told you, Cap, I said, this is the thing that kind of gets you with Starlin. You just never know, right? We think, well, he's got to do a better job of getting his pitch. That's 95 elevated in the zone right there. Clears the hips, clears the front side, and hits one up into the 2nd deck. Great swing right there. Hopefully this gets Starlin Castro going.
All right, more Starlin Castro coming up. A time for a break here on Cubs Post Game Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. We'll be right back.
Cubs Post Game Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
There are measures we can offer. Other agents in the field.
I work alone.
Okay, what's it gonna take?
I want a guarantee.
He wants the card.
I'm in.
He's good.
Drop my phone.
The Fantasy Sports Hall of Fame presents former accountant Derek Bradley. DraftKings One Day Fantasy Baseball took him from a guy with holes in his underpants to a guy with bikini models in them.
How do they do it?
DraftKings.com. They have one-day games, so you're not locked in. It's like a new season every time you play. And best of all, you could win a shipload of money.
Play with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of MLB. Play with promo code HIT and get free entry in our daily contest. Get to DraftKings.com.
So you take a chance on that slick DirecTV offer. $19 you think, but after just 3 months, you're paying over $100 a month, and it keeps going up. Suddenly, you're locked into a 2-year contract that could cost you nearly $3,000. Thinking about DirecTV? Better hang on to your wallet.
There's nothing direct about DirecTV. Call Xfinity from Comcast for a great offer and lock in your rate for 2 years.
At DirecTV, we believe giving a smile to a sick child is the least we can do. We believe logging tens of thousands of hours building homes and playgrounds defines our true spirit. That providing job opportunities for disabled Americans is the best way to celebrate diversity. And that being named one of the top 50 most community-minded companies in the U.S. means we're doing something right. Because we believe there's no place for ordinary when you entertain the extraordinary. Don't just watch TV. DirecTV.
To some of us, home improvement isn't a chore. It's a privilege and a satisfying part of owning your own home. The tools and supplies you choose need to be able to deliver the same quality that you demand of the work you do. At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we understand, and we want to help you achieve the best job possible. For your next home repair or home improvement project, we'd like to help you make your life better with genuine value. From Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Time for our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Who's hot, who's not so hot over the last 7 days? Todd Frazier, how about that? Smoking, as Holly said, 11 for 22, 4 bombs, 7 knocked in. He's hot. Who's not? Well, there you see Jared Hughes, by the way, 3 appearances, 1 inning pitched, and 2 earned runs. All right, welcome back to Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Starlin Castro drops to the 6-hole tonight. He shows he's got power. He's a big, strong guy. He's only got 4 homers on the season. He got the 1 tonight. He did get a walk. What is it that we're not seeing the 300 hitting Starlin Castro? What's he doing?
Well, his strike zone's just a little bit too big right now. He's expanded to the point where, he's chasing pitches just about every at-bat. I mean, how many times in a ball game are we seeing 6-3s? An awful lot for a little while there. I mean, he's pulling pitches away from him, and, he's hitting them softly to the other side. I mean, that's just it, to the pull side, and we just see an awful lot of it. Tonight, he did a nice job actually staying on the ball. Very deliberate effort to use right field. I mean, you got the fastball up, like I said. I think there was some frustration let out on that. But again, when you're working through a slump, I mean, your hitting coach, everybody's got all the answers in the world, yet your body's just not cooperating and your eyes aren't there, your mind sometimes isn't there, and Starlin's just got to find his way through it. It's very interesting how sometimes hitters like Starlin slump. Very hard to kind of get out of it sometimes, other than hitting your way out of it, because that's how he goes about it. I mean, we credit him for being such a great hitter in that he covers the strike zone so well. I say it all the time. He's very unpredictable in that, he can hit pitches that we don't expect others to hit. 95-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone. He'll jump all over it at times. And so, when he's locked in, he's hitting, sometimes balls that don't bounce all over the field for great results. And when he's going bad, he's attacking those exact same pitches, but not getting the result that he wants. So right now, he's going to have to really hone in on his strike zone, get some fastballs. And I think, I was a little bit like this myself when my strike zone got a little bit away from me. I tried to pick one pitch, just kind of hone in on something, typically the fastball, and just do my best that night against it and try to eliminate everything else. Instead of going up there and just trying to not hit everything that doesn't bounce, go up there and just hit fastballs that night. And again, I think he'll get himself out of it. Hopefully that home run tonight, that's got to feel great, squaring one up, certainly out of the strike zone, but the velocity, that was a good feeling for him.
All right, let's talk about Starlin's defense. He had a magnificent play in the field tonight, a really good athletic play. I mean, he makes a nice running grab, runs out, tracks it down. Not the easiest play. We saw Cedes Escobar struggle with one in a game-winning situation. That's a good play right there.
Well, he's a tremendous athlete, and this is what Joe Maddon's been kind of harping on all season long when he talks about how great we've been on a lot of these athletic plays that we've watched our young players make, whether it's Starlin or Addison Russell, Chris Bryant, the guys in the outfield, great running catches. I mean, this is a young team. It's, what's the saying? Do simple better, right? I mean, that's kind of what you get to, and what Starlin's, some of the mistakes that he's made this year and the mistakes that continue to happen have been on the routine plays. The spectacular plays, we continue to make them.
How does this happen over and over? It can happen occasionally. I mean, that's as routine a ground ball as there is. And what is it, just a lack
the ball
of
came up on him a little bit.
or what?
Well, I don't want to say it's a lack of concentration. I actually think it's the other, Cap. I think it's too much concentration. It's the idea that I've kind of gotten myself into a little bit of a funk here defensively, and I've booted some routine plays. And when the routine play comes, as that ball's approaching, it gets in your mind. I've had it happen to me in the outfield a few times where, and again, you don't get nearly the traffic in the outfield that you do at shortstop. So, he plays a premium position for a reason. But the point is this, you get yourself into a position where you're kind of hesitant around the routine play because you haven't been making it, or it has, it bit you a couple days ago and you're worried about it biting you again. And I think what's going on with Starlin right now is almost that he's too aware of what's going on with some of the simpler plays that he's booted of late. And again, in this case right here, it did appear to be a routine play that was rather simple in front of him. Easy read on the hop. It just came up a little bit, but he stayed down on it and the ball ate him up.
All right, we'll be right back. Cubs Postgame Live continues. More to do. Presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Cholula Hot Sauce, the flavorful hot sauce with the iconic wooden cap.
If you've been wishing for something amazing, at Cricket Wireless, we've got it. A special offer on the new Samsung Galaxy S6. Plus, we've got more 4G LTE coverage nationwide than T-Mobile or Sprint. Because a great phone deserves a great network. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
As I look out today, I'm moved by your hope for a bright future. A future where student debt crushes your dreams and where you move back home, share a bathroom with your younger sister. In short, good luck. You'll need it.
At Fifth Third Bank, we were curious. Could we help grads find the jobs they want? That's why we're giving away $1 million in job search training. Enter at 53.com/brandofview. Fifth Third Bank, the curious bank.
What's in a can? Possibilities. The beginning of something promising. Something real. That will refresh your perspective every time. So what's in a can? That's up to you.
Elk Grove Village is home to the largest industrial park in the United States. It's a community of makers, companies that invent, design, manufacture. When your neighbors are makers, the supply chain gets shorter and profits grow. It's why businesses thrive here. Elk Grove Village. Makers want it.
What's all this?
My own line of products, Barkley 34.
Smells like a locker room.
Exactly.
What's this?
The Rebounder. It's a dating app for the newly available.
Sounds promising. Can we build it?
Yes. CDW installed our HP per line servers with Intel Xeon processors so we can handle any data demands.
Any?
Any.
I like it.
Then you're gonna love Stir Charles.
Comcast Sportsnet, your home for Chicago Cubs baseball.
Man, let's take a look at the Blue Cross Blue Shield key to the Cubs win tonight.
Well, it's definitely the key tonight, and it's pretty much the key for just about any team going up against the Marlins right now. I was sitting here thinking we could go in a lot of different directions, but the reality is this: contain Stanton. I mean, he is such a force on this team right now. When you look at the number of homers, he's got 15 homers on the season. They've hit 37. I mean, do the math. He's got 44 RBIs. They've driven about 180. So, I mean, he is such a huge part of their offense and in so many ways connected to their success that if you can contain him, don't let him leave the yard, don't let him have big at-bats, you got a pretty good chance at winning a ball game. We did a nice job of that. Ground ball, double play, couple strikeouts. He did create a run on a single by stealing his way around the bases, and you don't usually see Stanton do that. So other than that, listen, he can steal the bases he wants as long as he's not hitting homers.
All right, we'll grab another timeout. We'll come back and continue looking back at this Cubs 5-1 win over the Fighting Fish. Kick off a 9-game road trip. Be right back.
There are measures we can offer. Other agents in the field.
I work alone.
Okay, what's it gonna take?
I want a guarantee.
He wants the card.
I'm in.
He's good.
Drop my phone.
The Fantasy Sports Hall of Fame presents former accountant Derek Bradley. DraftKings one-day fantasy baseball took him from a guy with holes in his underpants to a guy with bikini models in them.
How do they do it?
DraftKings.com. They have one-day games, so you're not locked in. It's like a new season every time you play. And best of all, you could win a shipload of money.
Play with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of MLB. Play with promo code HIT and get free entry in our daily contest. Get to DraftKings.com.
So you take a chance on that slick DirecTV offer. $19 you think, but after just 3 months, you're paying over $100 a month, and it keeps going up. Suddenly, you're locked into a 2-year contract that could cost you nearly $3,000. Thinking about DirecTV? Better hang on to your wallet.
There's nothing direct about DirecTV. Call Xfinity from Comcast for a great offer and lock in your rate for 2 years.
All right, take a look at the Cubs box score for Cool Joe Madden. Dexter Fowler 1 for 4, scored a couple. Chris Bryant had a double, an RBI, and a walk, was punched out twice. Anthony Rizzo had that first inning double, RBI, and a walk, and then hits for Castro, Coghlan, Hamill, and Russell. Hamill's 7 hits are more than the rest of the Cubs pitching staff that has 4 so far this season. I like that stat. Welcome back to Cubs post-game live. Cap and Holly with you. After a 3-hit performance last night, Javier Baez raised his average at AAA Iowa to 306 entering tonight's action. Now, next week, Cubs begin a stretch of 7 out of 13 games in American League ballparks where the DH will be used. And before tonight, manager Joe Madden was asked if it's possible Javi Baez could get a call up to the big league club then.
Javi's doing better. I hear a lot of really good things about him. That's the beauty of what we got going on right now. There are different, it's not, you just have this one shining light. You got several, and so you got to, try to make your best bet based on, we don't even know who we're facing yet, pitching-wise, and that would be part of the decision also.
All right, Javi Baez, over 300. The big, huge Mel-Ott-style leg kick is gone. Some of it still remains, but he looks, everyone I've talked to, I've watched some of it online, looks better, more under control.
Well, and that's certainly the adjustments that Joe Madden and the Cubs organization are wanting him to make. I mean, the bottom line is this. I mean, we know that he's got a tremendous amount of power. He's a tremendous athlete, very, very good baseball player. He needs an opportunity here at the big league level. And, really when it comes down to it, I personally think that little stretch there with the American League teams is a great opportunity to get him back up here. I mean, listen, there's no limits. It doesn't mean he has to come up and stay up. I think it's a good idea to get him up here and see where he's at. We need some help. We could use it, no doubt about it, offensively. We've talked about it, where we're at. Even in tonight's ballgame, a lot of the damage done at the top of the lineup. We've kind of had some moments lately, but all the help you can get. If you can get him up for a short period of time, you've got the extra bat with the DH, why not find out? I don't think you're bound by it, so why not see where he's at the Major League level? If he plays his way back onto this roster, keeps himself up here, man, listen, all about it. I don't think anybody complains when you've got great players fighting for playing time. It's when you don't.
What did you think of the reduced leg kick?
I like it. I mean, well, here's the one thing. I mean, the leg kick's okay with me. I really never had an issue with it. It was actually his upper body that I had more of a problem with because he spins off the baseball so much. I've seen many a man. I mean, I played with Todd Helton. Derek Lee used to do it, guys who had leg kicks. Now, his is big, but the timing has to be good, and that's really what it comes down to. And his timing was off and on. but he also would spin off the baseball with that leg kick, and his shoulders would turn so hard and pull so hard that he would miss the slider away and didn't have the ability to stay on the fastball away. To me, it's really more about his upper half than it ever was about his lower half.
All right, and Kyle Schwarber 1 for 5 tonight, hitting .316 at Double-A Tennessee, and there are scouts right now saying his bat plays at the big league level right now as an impact guy.
I absolutely believe it. I'm hearing the exact same reports. I'd love to see that opportunity come his way. I know his time is not quite here yet, but the sooner the better. I think all hands on deck as this season continues to push forward and the Cubs continue to play great baseball.
All right, we'll be right back. Cubs post-game live. A little bit more to do. Presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. A look ahead to Game 2 of this 3-game set against the Phillies.
Kate!
She can't go alone.
Give me your hand!
That was close.
Your old air conditioner is costing you money. Put your money back in your pocket with a new energy-efficient air conditioner from Four Seasons. And right now, get a new air conditioner from just $24.95 installed. Furnace and AC combos from just $36.95. Plus, enjoy 5 years interest-free financing. Call today for a free estimate from Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Menards is your landscaping headquarters. With the largest selection of landscape block, you'll find everything to build the perfect yard. Flagstone pavers in 3 colors are 99 cents each. Protect your deck with Woolman Durastain and Raincoat with Never Wet hydrophobic technology. It's a one-coat stain designed to provide excellent color retention and mildew protection. Right now, save $6 a gallon. That's $30 on 5-gallon pails. Don't forget Father's Day. Pick up a gift card.
Save big money at Menards.
Bring on the big arms, the bigger bats, and the biggest moments of the season with the MLB Extra Innings package on DirecTV. Get up to 100 live games a week in your rotation. Feel the heat of every pitch in HD. Go deep with up to 8 games previewed on one channel. And with MLB.TV included, catch all the action on over 400 devices for the same game-changing price. It's a whole new ballgame when the season follows you. Swing for the fences and watch your favorite team no matter where you live with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
All right, tomorrow's starters, Game 2 of this series. Kyle Hendricks 1-1, coming off a very, very good outing. ERA solid, 3.76. Brad Hand, no way, Mr. Hand. 0-1 in 28 innings pitched, 4.50 ERA, 20-6 K to walk ratio. Kyle Hendricks has been throwing the ball very well as of late.
Oh, I love where he's at. Fastball command's been outstanding, but I love to talk about the tilt at home plate because, again, you know, he's not a high-velocity guy. You know, you go into a game like this, kind of like Maddox a little bit. You used to think, you know what, he's not going to blow my doors down. I should hit him. I should square him up. I should find love, as we used to say. But you know what? Kyle has been all about it. Great tilt at home plate. His two-seamers got depth. His changeup is staying down in the strike zone as well, and he's actually elevating at times. So it's been fun to see, and he's gotten a lot of success and well-deserved. I thought April was unjust to him and unfair to him. I thought he pitched a lot better than his numbers were.
This is a tough trip. You get the Fish, who are playing well, just took 2 or 3 from the Mets. Mm-hmm. Then you got to go to Washington, best team in the National League, and finish it up with 2 at Detroit.
Well, it's a good test. There's no doubt about it. You're going up against some teams that know how to get it done, some teams that have some good starting pitching and some offenses. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a great start tonight, but they're going to have to keep it going.
All right, that's going to put a ribbon on this edition of our postgame show. Cubs Postgame Live brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. All right, don't forget, Sportsnet Central is coming up next. We will talk with you tomorrow.
All right, Cap and Holly, great job. Way to bring home a winner. Welcome into Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC. Alongside Kelly Krull, I'm Mark Shanowski. The Bulls preparing a major announcement for tomorrow afternoon. I wonder what that might be.
Well, we know the Blackhawks are at least arrived and in Tampa. Their blue line definitely will be put to the test as they get ready to face the top offensive team in the league.
Just watched it here on Comcast Sportsnet. The Cubs beginning a 9-game road trip against the struggling Marlins.
And Kenny Williams has some harsh words for the White Sox. We'll tell you what has him embarrassed. Sportsnet Central starts right now.
To Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC.
We start things off with this Sportsnet Central news alert. The Bulls have called a 2 p.m. news conference tomorrow for that major announcement. Undoubtedly, the hiring of 42-year-old Fred Hoiberg as the team's new head coach, replacing Tom Thibodeau. Hoiberg arrived in Chicago by private jet late this afternoon to work out the final details on a seasons.
You know, it is something that, you know, I have had interest in, but it didn't matter what offer would have come last year, I wouldn't have taken it. And, you know, this year, things were a little bit different. That's, you know, obviously all of us, when you have life changes that could potentially happen, you sit down with your family and you weigh everything, and you make the best decision that you possibly can. That was very interesting to me, and you know, just because you know, I played there, you know, it's a great organization. I've got connections in that organization, and so we'll see how tonight goes. But you know, that's where things are right now. There's been nothing finalized at this point.
Yes, Fred Hoiberg does have connections with the Bulls organization. He played 4 of his 14 seasons in a Chicago Bulls uniform. Matter of fact, Bulls general manager Gar Forman was an assistant coach at Iowa State during Hoiberg's senior year in Ames. From 2006 to 2010, Hoiberg worked in the front office of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then the last 5 years he was head coach at his alma mater, going 115 and 56. We'll have much more on Hoiberg coming later in the show. Less than 48 hours after eliminating the Anaheim Ducks, the Blackhawks arrived in Tampa, getting ready for tomorrow's Media Day onslaught, followed by Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final Wednesday night. Luke Stuckmeyer is with the team in Tampa on the road to a dynasty. Coverage from the Stanley Cup Final brought to you by Coors Light.
And the Western Conference champion Chicago Blackhawks have arrived down in Florida as they get ready for Media Day on Tuesday down in Tampa, as well as their first practice at Amalie Arena. Luke Stuckmeyer right across from the arena at the Tampa Riverwalk. What a journey it's been for the Blackhawks to get to this point. Lots of challenges along the way, and isn't it fitting now that it once again begins on the road? Blackhawks considered one of the top defensive teams in the league, and Tampa, one of the most explosive offensive teams.
The biggest challenge against this team here, we're not familiar like we were the teams we played. But you know, they've got a fast team. They've got some, you know, they got a top line you got to be concerned with. They got top players you got to be worried about. But net overall team speed is the one thing, and their attack game is dangerous.
At the end of the day, we've got a lot of guys who've played a lot of minutes, and so does the other team. So I think it's going to come down to whoever plays the best team game, and that's usually the way it ends.
I think early in our career as a team, you know, back in 2009, we had a lot of success on the road, whether it was regular season or playoffs. It's something we enjoy doing, is getting together and being together in the hotel and playing in the other team's building. But you know, I don't think it really matters where you're playing. For us, for them, it's going to be good games.
And perhaps the #1 enforcer the Blackhawks will be sizing up is the man who's partly responsible for 40 of Tampa's 50 wins in the regular season. 6'7" goaltender Ben Bishop.
You got to make sure you make it tough on him to find pucks and and you got to bear down on your opportunities. But certainly he's the biggest one we've seen, and we want to make sure that we got to get to the net.
But a true X factor for any challenger can be experience, and throughout this era of Blackhawks hockey, the leadership of number 19 has proven to be the backbone of the Hawks' legendary run.
The way he prepares for games, the way he thinks about hockey, I think that's one of the good things about our team and why we've been so successful is we got a number of guys in our locker room that are constantly looking for ways to improve themselves as players, improve their bodies, improve their health, and Johnny leads the way in that department.
The excitement that we have, the opportunity we have, it's right there in front of us. This is the last series. We want to have a great start to it, so that is something that we can definitely focus on is just having that desperation that we've had late in the series and applying that right off the start.
I love it. It's what we dream about. It's what it's all about as a player, as a coach. Getting to this situation and stage is you couldn't have had it any better, and it's the best part about winning a cup is the road to trying to win it.
Couple of quick injury updates for you. Kruger and Bickle both good to go despite being injured in the Western Conference Final. And Trevor Van Riemsdyk will practice on Tuesday with the Blackhawks. They'll evaluate him further from there. Mike Halford joins us from Pro Hockey Talk, NBCSports.com. Big hockey expert. A lot of talk about Ben Bishop in this series, the Blackhawks matchup against him. They've had some training facing big goaltenders in these playoffs, Mike.
They have, and I mean, Bishop's the biggest. He's the biggest as they get. In fact, he's the biggest goalie in NHL history. So it's going to be a little different from guys like Frederik Andersen. I think the big thing here is you have to look at Bishop has struggled at times in these playoffs. There's been some instances where he's let in some weak goals, some really questionable goals. At the same time, in the big moments, he's come up huge. You're talking about a Game 7 shutout against Detroit in the opening round. Closes out Carey Price in the second round. And then a shutout in Game 7 against Henrik Lundqvist in the Eastern Conference Final. So there's a real sort of parallel between the weak Ben Bishop and the strong. I don't know which one the Hawks are going to see.
Joe Quenneville says he has not decided yet whether he will separate Taves and Kane on the same line. Doesn't like to play them together during the regular season. If you're the head coach, what's the right course of action here?
I actually think splitting them up might be the way to go. I mean, Tampa's big strength up front with their forward lines is they can roll four. And especially those top two, especially the triplet line with Johnson and Platt and Kucherov. Then behind that, you've got a guy like Steve Stamkos, where it's like, endless waves of offense coming at you. If you're the Hawks, maybe you want to balance it out and split up Kane and Taves and try and get a little bit more balance. At the same time, it's tough to go against something that's so heavily loaded up and has been so productive throughout the postseason.
These teams play for home ice advantage all regular season long. Both teams just won Game 7 on the road. Will home ice advantage have a role in this series?
I honestly think it won't. I mean, it's kind of been a misnomer in the NHL over the last few years is that the home ice advantage really hasn't been one, especially in crucial games. You go back to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, and those Game 7s didn't really make a difference where they were played. I think the big thing is going to be if Chicago can get the split in these first two games, because that's what they want to do. They want to go in, and they want to steal whatever semblance of home ice there is, and then go back to the United Center for 3 and 4.
Mike, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. You can read his work, Pro Hockey Talk, at NBCSports.com. We'll send it back to Chicago from Tampa.
All right, Luke, great job. Still ahead, our Chris Bowden catches up with former Blackhawk defenseman Brian Campbell. We'll get his take on the Stanley Cup Final, and he'll tell us how the Chicago forwards might be able to take advantage of Tampa Bay's defenders. But first, we want to hear from you, Hawk fans. What concerns you the most about facing the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Final? Use the hashtag HawksTalk. We'll have some of your answers later in the show.
Now on to baseball, where the Cubs opened up a 9-game road trip in Miami this evening, a series the Northsiders would certainly love to take advantage of with the Nationals and Tigers on the horizon. Jason Hamill on the bump for Joe Maddon's club, who's gone at least 7 innings in his last 4 outings, posting a .217 ERA, and it just got better against the Fish. Thanks to Mother Nature, Hamill working on a couple extra days rest. It looks like all is okay with the cracked fingernail on his pitching hand. Cubs would jump on Jose Urena early here. In the top of the first 2 runners on for Anthony Rizzo, that'll be good enough to drive in Dexter Fowler. So Cubs in front, 1-0. To the 4th, Cubs up a couple runs now. Addison Russell just going to add to the lead with this base knock. Chris Coughlin will come on home, and the Cubs move in front 3-0. Bottom of the 4th, Marlins finally getting on the board with a little extra help from the Cubs. Giancarlo Stanton looking to steal 3rd there, and Miguel Montero just a bit too strong, let's say. Yes, To left field it goes. Stanton coming across home plate, cutting the deficit to 3-1. Score holds into the 7th after Fowler has walked Chris Bryant. Off the wall here in left, Fowler would score easily, and Bryant gets his 33rd RBI of the season. That would be all the Sport Hamill would need. He had a career-high 11 strikeouts in 6 2/3 innings, not allowing a walk. Cubs still up 4-1 in the 8th with Castro at the plate.
Castro waits on a 1-1, drilled to deep left. Way back there, and it will go! A home run.
Castro's first home run since May 8th, his 899th hit as a Cub, tying King Kelly. How about that as the Cubs beat the Marlins 5-1.
Great start to the road trip. Still to come, the mayor returns to Chicago. But is the talent in place for the Bulls to contend for a championship next season? We'll talk to a couple of guys who follow the Bulls very closely. Kenny Williams speaks out on the state of the White Sox. Find out what he finds embarrassing about the current team. Duncan Keith has logged a ton of minutes during these playoffs. One of his former teammates explains why that's probably a good thing and why Joel Quenneville might hold the trump card in this series. Those stories and a whole lot more coming up on Sportsnet Central.
Sportsnet Central on Comcast Sportsnet is presented to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
A pitcher who can paint the corners is known as a Rembrandt. At GMC, we get why people love that kind of precision. After all, in everything we build, that's exactly what we deliver. This is precision. This is GMC. Now pay no interest for 5 years, plus get $2,000 purchase cash on 2015 Sierra SLT models.
Where should you get advice about getting out of debt? Geraci Law is one of the oldest and largest debt relief law firms in the country. I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Whether you're high income or low, rent or own, if you need advice about mortgages, bill collectors, foreclosure, finance companies, or almost any debt problem, call Geraci Law or click now.
If you're worried about debt, call now to see if you qualify. 1-800-401-4010.
Tomorrow on Plus, our Sox storm north to Arlington for the first of 3 with Texas. Help them wrangle the Rangers. Starting with White Sox pregame live, presented by Lexus of Orland and Maryville. Sox versus Rangers. Coverage begins at 6:30 on CSN Plus.
Now, you can get 2 Arby's Ultimate BLTs for $6. So, with 10 total strips of thick-cut bacon, that works out to about a 100% chance of you coming to Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. All strike 3.
The conference call, the ultimate arena for business. Hour after hour of diving deep, touching base, and putting ducks in rows. The only problem with conference calls, eventually they have to end. Unless you have the Comcast Business Voice Edge mobile app. It lets you switch seamlessly from your desk phone to your mobile with no interruptions. I've never felt so alive.
Get the future of phone, and the phones are free. Comcast Business, built for business.
Here's Kane now, juking his way to the right, low left corner. Should he score? The Hawks win the Stanley Cup! Lord Stanley's new address is Sweet Home Chicago. The Chicago Blackhawks have won the Stanley Cup.
They battle in the corner. It's finessed by Keith around for a feed in front. Score! Taves to Beckle with 1:16 to go in the third. Help to the back. Oduya shot deflected. Scramble. They score! The Blackhawks are Stanley Cup champions.
No team has won back-to-back Stanley Cups since the Red Wings did it back in 1998. And while the Blackhawks won't end that streak this June, they do have a chance to bring home a second cup in the last 3 years and third and 6. Pretty remarkable when you note the run of success all started by ending a 49-year drought back in 2010. For more on the series, let's send it over to Chris Bowden.
Pleased now to be joined by 2010 Blackhawks Stanley Cup winner Brian Campbell, who's back home in the offseason looking a little too rested and a little too clean shaven. But he's here to join us as we look ahead to the Stanley Cup final between the Blackhawks and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Brian, when you see the defenseman minutes for the top 4 that Joel has and how they've been racking up and the reliance that Joel has on that, what goes through your mind and how impressed are you with that top 4?
Well, definitely they've been great all playoffs, and I think what Joel's trying to do is he's trying to make sure that he has at least one of those guys on the ice at all times. So I know they're racking up the minutes. They had a couple days off before Game 7. Now going into Tampa, they have some more rest. The travel is obviously an issue, but if those guys can log the minutes and they're having some success, so you just got to let them ride it. You can't change it. You got to just let them go because they're playing at elite levels.
Very rarely will Joel put Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane together on a line. Those are rare instances, but he did that late in the Anaheim series. How do you think he's going to approach that to at least start this Tampa Bay series?
It could go either way. My feeling is he's gonna separate them for now. It's always your trump card you have in your back pocket, and I thought it was great that he did it in Game 7. I still remember going back watching the 2013 run there. Those guys weren't playing together, and then he put them back together, and obviously Canner went off to Conn Smythe. And I thought with those two guys together, they get excited to play with each other, but they have enough people around them that they can separate them, but it's always something that Joel can go back to.
If this is a similar Tampa Bay team in style to the Blackhawks, where do you think the Lightning are vulnerable?
Well, their best asset is their speed and how they attack with all their D-men. They come up, their D-men could be leading the rush. You'll see Hedman leading the rush. Strallman, they all get up into the play. So I think that's the issue. Sometimes it works against them because then they give up the chances, and I think that's in the Rangers series. You give up 10 chances against the Blackhawks, they're putting 7, 8 in. The Rangers, maybe they only put in 3, 4. So I think that's going to be the key for the Blackhawks, is to take advantage of those situations.
The Blackhawks 1-2-4 in their last 7 games against the Tampa Bay Lightning. With former Blackhawk Brian Campbell, I'm Chris Bowden. Let's send it back to you.
And our thanks to Brian Campbell. As we told you at the top of the show, the Bulls will name Fred Hoiberg their new head coach at a 2 p.m. news conference tomorrow, which we will carry right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Hoiberg arrived in Chicago late this afternoon to work out the final details of a contract that could be worth as much as $25 million over the next 5 seasons. The 42-year-old Hoiberg comes from Iowa State, where he led the Cyclones to the NCAA tournament in 4 of his 5 seasons on the bench. Joining us now, a couple of guys who cover the Bulls very closely. Jason Goff from The Score and John Greenberg from ESPNChicago.com. Jason, let's start with you. Fred Hoiberg reportedly in town trying to nail down possibly a 5-year deal. What do you think about the possibility of the mayor coming in, and what will he bring to the Bulls?
Well, he's going to bring a different way of communicating with the players, which is something that John and Gar stressed during the press conference. And also, it's just a different vibe. A college coach who's got NBA background and an NBA past, I don't think the players will have a hard time, respecting him or acclimating. It'll be about what this roster is going forward more so than I think about what Fred Hoiberg isn't.
Yeah, I think the best thing is going to be that there's going to be a different kind of focus, a different kind of vibe, like Jason said, around the building, maybe a little more fast-paced offensively, maybe a little lighter, a little bit lighter of a mood, which I think is necessary. When you make a coaching change, you often go for the opposite. And I think this is a nice opposite to go for.
They're going to get their guy in Fred Hoiberg, a guy who's a good communicator, will probably work very well with Gar and Pax. The pressure's on them now to try to deliver a championship. Yeah. Is the roster good enough to win a championship now, to get past LeBron James, or might we expect some significant changes, possibly a trade of a Joakim Noah or a Taj Gibson?
Yeah, well, you got to figure out your front court. If Joakim Noah is going to be the Joakim Noah that you saw the last year and a half or so, then it's going to be tough for you to be the same kind of basketball team that you were. Taj Taj Gibson. I'm sure that he feels that his time is running out, and as far as his prime years to be a starting, contributing player, and he still thinks that he's a starter. Your backcourt, too. I mean, Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose are going to be one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive backcourts in the NBA if they match whatever offer sheet is put out there for Jimmy. So your roster, I won't say it's in flux, but there's some very intriguing questions about what this team will be going forward.
I don't see a huge roster change coming forward because I just don't know who they would get rid of, how they would get rid of him, and how that would make him better. Taj Gibson is a guy you hear a lot about. He's making a decent amount of money. He's a sub. They signed Powell and Nico last year. But if he's gone, who's going to bang in the post? Not any of the guys on the roster, not defensively. Taj does a lot of good things. I know he's limited by ankle injuries. And knowing this John and Gar's history, they don't trade guys very often. They don't do a lot of quick fixes unless it's for kind of like the salary cap type stuff. So I think we're going to see the same roster with a new coach. And I think, in fact, maybe they put this roster together knowing that Tom Thibodeau wouldn't be around much longer, because the guys they brought in last year aren't Tom Thibodeau players. Yeah. So I think they're already planning for the future.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Never a dull day on the Bulls beat. We'll see you at the Fred Hoiberg News Conference.
Well, with 2 months of the MLB season in the books, the White Sox sit dead last in the AL Central at 23-26. Not at all what White Sox executive VP Kenny Williams expected to see after all the big offseason changes. And while disappointed, Williams still believes there's plenty of time to turn things around, with Robin Ventura at the helm. Williams did, however, have this to say the Sun-Times. To say we haven't clicked on all cylinders would be an understatement. It's been sloppy. At times, it's been embarrassing. The defensive side has been the source of most of my angst, because that's the thing you can control the most in this game. Catch the ball, throw it where it needs to be thrown, and make the right decisions. Again, it's not because we don't have the talent and ability. We just haven't put it together yet.
Well, there are a lot of similarities between the Lightning and Blackhawks. Tampa Bay coach John Cooper certainly appreciates that compliment. Coming up, we'll hear from the Lightning on facing one of the NHL's top teams over the last half dozen years. And we'll also head overseas. A couple of high-profile players were on upset alerts at the French Open. Highlights when Sportsnet Central returns.
Hi, can you help us with a Tough Shed storage building?
Would you like something like this?
That's perfect!
Cool. Do you guys sell Tough Shed garages too? We sure do, and I can help. Great, thanks.
Legendary Tough Shed quality plus the convenience of the Home Depot. Right now, get 10% off the base price on installed Sundance Series sheds, plus no interest if paid in full within 12 months on Tough Shed purchases of $899 or more.
The decision to ride on, save money. He decided to save money by switching his motorcycle insurance to Geico. There's no shame in saving money. Ride on, ride proud. Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Quiet on the set. Take 73. What? It's a saving big is no laughing matter at the Bob Roman Auto Group. Over 7,000 new and used cars online at BobRorman.com.
There's only one Bob Roman.
Tomorrow night, the Northsiders go fishing for a win in Miami while the Marlins look to escape Chicago's attack. So cast your net with Len and JD and let's feast on Florida. Cubs versus Marlins, starting at 6 on CSN Chicago.
Tomorrow on Plus, our Sox storm north to Arlington for the first of 3 with Texas. Help them wrangle the Rangers. Starting with White Sox pregame live, presented by Lexus of Orland and Maryville. Sox versus Rangers. Coverage begins at 6:30 on CSN Plus.
Earlier we asked, what concerns you the most about facing the Lightning in the Stanley Cup Final? Ricky says the emotional letdown after beating those big bad Ducks and playing an unfamiliar team with no villains or animosity. Just wait a couple of games. There'll be plenty of villains and animosity. Chicago Brush Lion adds nada, zip, zero, zilch. The East will put up a valiant effort, but has nothing on any team hailing from the West. Sounds like the NBA. Here's Chris Bowden on a very confident but respectful Tampa Bay team.
This is a dream come true. It's almost there. You can taste it, but there's still a lot of hard work left, and we have to make sure we come prepared to play a great team in Chicago.
And as the Eastern champs got back to practice after also winning their Game 7 on the road, you couldn't hear any trash talk. Just the utmost respect for the Blackhawks while believing they can overcome a 4th straight Original 6 playoff opponent.
We realize the opponent we're up against, how good they are, how talented they are, the experience they have, but we have confidence in this group in here.
It's going to be a challenge. They're a great team. I remember playing against them the last 2 years, and it's been a battle against them. There's not a lot of space. It's tough to play, but we have to be ready for it, and we're excited for it.
They have some, 2 of the most, 3, 4 the most, world-class players in the world, and Cantates and Posa and the Norris Trophy winner and Keith. It goes on, and a great goaltender in Crawford. So, I mean, they have it all.
The Lightning have been able to overcome losing the 2 series openers that they've hosted against Detroit and New York. And some observers draw comparisons to their youth and skill with that of the 2010 Blackhawks.
If people are saying that, then that's a really good compliment for us, because I think you look at them and what is this, their 3rd Cup appearance in 6 years? So if we're being compared to that and we can somehow garner up that much success in the next few years, we're pretty happy about that.
Chris Bowden, Comcast Sportsnet.
All right, CB, tomorrow afternoon, Comcast Sportsnet will be live from Stanley Cup Final Media Day in Tampa. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. Jonathan Taves, Patrick Kane, Joel Quenneville, all scheduled to meet the media ahead of Game 1 Wednesday night. And if you can't get in front of a television, our coverage is also streaming live on CSNChicago.com and on the NBC Sports Live Extra app.
How about some tennis? Big day at Roland Garros. French Open featured the Big Four all playing on the men's side and the only 2 Americans left on the women's side. But we begin with defending French Open champ Maria Sharapova. She was battling a cold throughout this week, but gonna gut it out against 13th seed Lucy Safarova. Match point for Safarova in the 2nd set. And she will end up beating Sharapova's serve with the cross-court forehand. She takes the match 7-6, 6-4. Sharapova's earliest exit in Roland Garros since 2010. The other highly anticipated 4th-round matchup, Serena Williams taking on Sloane Stevens, who knocked out her sister Venus in the 1st round. Set point to Stevens in the 1st set. Williams, nice serve, and then check out the backhand. Yeah, a little bit deep. Stevens takes the 1st set in just 23 minutes. The 1st set Williams has dropped this tournament, but Serena, all about the drama. Gonna fight back, match point. Stevens won't be able to handle this one, so Serena holds on. She moves on to the quarterfinals.
Well, she beat Venus, had to stick up for the family.
Absolutely.
That will do it for the first half hour of Sportsnet Central presented by GMC. Don't go anywhere. Much more on all of the day's top stories.
A pitcher who can paint the corners is known as a Rembrandt. At GMC, we get why people love that kind of precision. After all, in everything we build, that's exactly what we deliver. This is precision. This is GMC. Now pay no interest for 5 years, plus get $2,000 purchase cash on 2015 Sierra SLT models.
Is there such a thing as a sure thing in business? Some say buy gold. Others say buy soybeans. I say buy Comcast Business Internet. Unlike internet providers that slow down when traffic picks up, you get speed you can rely on. It's a safe bet. Like a gold-plated soybean.
Reliably fast internet starts at $69.95 a month. Comcast Business, built for business.
A massive earthquake has rocked the people of Nepal. Thousands are dead and critically injured. Scores of suffering.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
So, what is love? Love is being independent. Love is dancing. At Shriners Hospital for Children, love is a new smile.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child regardless of the family's ability to pay. If you know a child that needs help, please call or go online today.
Love it. It's what we dream about. It's what it's all about.
Yes, it is. Hello and welcome, everyone. Alongside Mark Shanowski, I'm Kelly Crawlin. Welcome into Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC.
The Blackhawks travel to Tampa, where the Lightning players know they have a big challenge ahead of them.
They have some, two of the most, three, four, the most, world-class players in the world.
Meanwhile, Fred Hoiberg touches down in Chicago to hammer out a contract to coach the Bulls.
I've got connections in that organization, and so we'll see how tonight goes.
And the Cubs jump on the Marlins early, but could they reel in another win on the road? Don't lose your cool. Sportsnet Central starts right now.
You are connected to Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC.
We get things rolling with this Sportsnet Central News Alert. The Bulls have called a 2 p.m. news conference tomorrow for a major announcement. Undoubtedly, the hiring of that man, 42-year-old Fred Hoiberg, as the team's new head coach, replacing Tom Thibodeau. Hoiberg arrived in Chicago by private jet late this afternoon to work out the final details on a long-term contract, reportedly worth as much as $25 million over the next 5 seasons.
It is something that, I have had interest in, but it didn't matter what offer would have come last year, I wouldn't have taken it. And, this year, things were a little bit different. And that's, obviously all of us, when you have life changes that could potentially happen, you sit down with your family and you weigh everything, and you make the best decision that you possibly can. That was very interesting to me. And just because, I played there, it's a great organization. I've got connections in that organization. And so we'll see how tonight goes. But, that's where things are right now. There's been nothing finalized at this point.
Yes, all kinds of connections for Fred Hoiberg with the Bulls organization. He played 4 of his 14 seasons in a Bulls uniform. Matter of fact, Bulls GM Gar Forman was an assistant coach at Iowa State during Hoiberg's senior year in Ames. From 2006 to 2010, he worked in the front office of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And, of course, he spent the last 5 years at his alma mater, Iowa State, going 115 and 56. Much more on Hoiberg later in the show. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final will not be played until Wednesday night, but the Blackhawks are already in Tampa, resting up for Media Day tomorrow. Luke Stuckmeyer is with the team on the road to a